90 nasi fizabre ya ekopam nonso ya wo mo de kase no so esomo ewo afei ya nye siman na de edi makotne no memfa bi ensomo
dwen kase ye jani na ama ye nuanum a omoto abamae entene omoto mae no enti ye be ye yafa ye na ye enti yesre no sometimes enim say enye obi a ote abonti bia na enim say de efia adwuma sete
Yabako emrashe bedram na de dom kuma wo mo eka fansem asantehne otumfo se tutoto mienu wo kan yese wo mo hwe wo mo entwintwan aban ehyehyeye emu afei ekwiafo bi anu dem se kwan a amanfo esi bunua ewo ho no eyade anhwe ya ebeha wo mo koko emfu na amane nsam so yani etremu ewo Kentucky eye atorenchemu a esi ye ewo ho nipa dodo no a ena wo mo ahwe won kwa bebre so na mpanifo guso a wo hwehwe won mo ehira kwan Abusiansan bi kan we se num eho anasima edia santem mede somo se nonsia kase yen hyase na yefe ani nkyeremu ewo St John's Jontai ekwan no eso nkwanhia bi siye emanya ne ntia se enipa be miensa de womo ehwe womo nkwa amono hono a na de ben ene koso ye koma sankwanhia esiye ekoso ewo ofanko barian krapumpuni mantemu heya yenkwa homa no eso na yenua bema Joshua Sapon Yabua wono na no ho mu bia de course wono wo hu ye no wonkyeremu emfa ema yenua bema wotime nka nwume ya memo akwa baba Onua Kaseɛ so Joshua Sapon Yabua wotime nka memo akwa ba ye bekoso ana ye pusu huma no se de be ya yensa ebe ka no ye besan so afre ni bio e de amaye na wakyeremu ne ekoso ya ekoma no eba asa yenko emrahye bedwemu a na edom kumamu we say minority chief whip Owura Mohammed Muntaka Mubarak ena wo kasai na wodi nsem bi ayi no kama akọ ama asantehni otumfo se tete otoso mienu na ekasaye na de wo kan eni se bepiemu ewo mrahye bedwemu a ya wo mo entwintwan aban anamu ewo ne hyehyeye eho eno eno opani so eye Owura Muntaka Mubarak wade anuye ni munkyeremu atu dwa na nsa ne yede na anuye no ebeba no yentwa ye ho sima na afa yenkotie de nana eye otumfo se tu osofo mienu okaye.
Do not know of any form of taxes which is less painful than others. So alas, governments of all hues will raise such taxes as they find necessary to meet our needs. And alas, if we are good citizens, we have to pay our taxes. We elect people to represent us to make sure there's some equilibrium in what governments do. It is to our good that our representatives in Parliament subject the national budget to the most vigorous scrutiny and to call for changes. Governments must always also have the humility to acknowledge and embrace useful inputs from all sources. But our representatives need to also bear in mind that it is not their role to either determine policy for the executive or to frustrate them from performing their legitimate duties. The good thing is, in a democracy, is that people listen, observe and weigh what their leaders do over time, and pass their judgment at the appropriate time.
I was here for entin some ekotie no ene nsemu asante ne epoto wo broni kasa emu na enu ho anuye na eya sewase mrahye bedwane no nyamfo Mohammed Muntaka ensu eyi ano ede ema yeni siman na yentie na anuye ni bi
sebio wotumo goso ebu de yina enu se ye de ebu kese pa ema no but de wo ho no se mfie na mu ntemo no ye the budget me 9 and I de bafia also ye di hu duma State of the nation, President Beba Bunhun Kunta, Ghana said the Ghana city, Akache 4 times in print 9. You via loans Beba, Bebri, Negra say Yabi. Nyoma Bebri, agreement Bebri Eba. Yet men Kase, Jani Nama, Yeduanum, our Moto Abamai, and Omotumayan, and the Eba Yafa, ye, and the Esrano. Sometimes you say, and you'll be out here when Tibian and Nim said, if you are a Jumasity. Yafa. Yafa, so I know. Sebu, yen see a bank and say, or so yen and Nafa. Yea, the can say, you discount. Say, for you, Juma. My say, Ijuma, we ye. Buhu Gunta. Said a bear, any betty. I did a bibeka home. One fight, I dare ya pum, I'm a moko, or Mumbai, I see a sample being gone. And then you know more a problem. And yes, sir, I saw from paying for Imam paying for, will be I didn't know too much. So you never cried about this a bit more a bumpire, say, a bit more demonic. Yes, sir, and yet demons are same. A kuntabu, or Mumbu Kunta, or Mubu Kunta said, there's a fata. Sebu, you know more than Yantokana Yoko, you are nominated here.
Diadrono, ye beko, ye chika kra, na ye Joshua Sapon, ye bois, atoche, and Coboni, ni echemu. Ewo ofanko bari anka pumpuni manchemu kwenshia ekoso many abema Joshua Sapon yebo aso otime nka me wakwa baba oni akase yeso
ba me so medemo so
enkwenhia yesi ye na wo hon mu bidie na hu ye
me pacho eye ewia about 318 ewo ofanko bari eye ka akese bi ka akese fa bi Caterpillar, and name. What's a Saka Cassian? You were the type car farm Mokukumasi Pounds on the name. Or Pan course for them, would do anything more of course for them. A May Road, Messono. Kai Sanifi, Canana, Etisono. Emma, printer driver, being Susa, Sabi, or Dimika Tente, and a May Road, into the Kai or Pan course for them, fine. So, I'm no one of my Nipami and S1 and animal in Seattle. Na thing say o metre yin ko fodi binti mo a ni police wo sabi o mo so ye hakakra na mo ba ye mo mututa waste screen na so mo yi en ko fodi bi no mo ye no nipa mi no mo te ta ne front there kan na driver ni bi kan ni ma mo ma sabi enya asem kotoa
Joshua nipa dodo be sen e na no mo te sa ahyan mi enunum
ahyan ne de na kan na ye ma nipa 18 and na omuti sa senu but emu to the omu bra mu otempa bien sa de atwans kan na mo de ben driver ni do mo te driver ni ti de atwans kan na akumpu antiem
enti aposifo etumi ba ho no mo omo mu pride no mo de makwaya sabia obetumi akire mama yen
the bato I aposifo ho ye hakakra amo mo ba ye na mo bra mo ba ye no nipa mo so ebo mo modern. Any police one year teamwork, Mamutimi boy to charge or more paper. I don't know. The Akana so seven. I want to mark PMU or 37. Much.
Medase, Minia, Bema, Joshua, Sapon, Yabua, and one money bo, after Yansan, Sophia, and Shemu, Ewa, Emrashe, bedroom, Yamea Dumois, watching Ebony, Emrashe, bedroom, Sanso, Atnase, a year, a wear, no mienu, na and no some Yankobio, na and someone, you for Muntaka Mubarak. Wakan ye efa speaker enso hono ye ntie bi
speaker so one chair ade poti ntia waka say one pene ma ye mfa motion ne samba floor no so enti ye de ye sa tro no krata say ye dun say sebiu enye mra kwan so na ofa so reject motion no na ye de nim say nyame adum na speaker ankasa eba yebesa ahwe chance me ade ama ye we na yesese bi we pese chinchina ye pese ye ma aban djuma ejina aban timi nya bibia de bi efia ye wo de bia meka nyoma mensa ene de efia hanam 1992 constitution ye standing orders ana ya ankasa ye ni nyoma ye ofia no protocol of the practices ejino ye no say we yaba also ye die tia kopem na o say efin na ekwe die asamba se de abaya kwan a efia aka say ye de be fa ni eni ti na ye de ye no enti ye de yɛbɛkɔ so akɔpem na ɛho sɛ deɛ abɛka mmara a ɛwɔ fie ha because you didn't say bio Mr. Speaker, First Deputy Speaker, say wɔka sɛ wɔ admit motion no wohwɛ yɛ standing orders 82 so wo ankasa koraa wo move motion na obi ɛfoa so a ɛfrɛ seconding obi seconding a wo ankasa wopɛ so wotwi sign koraa na wontumi sign gye sɛ efie no na take decision enti ɛba ne sɛn na efie ha bɛ yɛbɛ move motion na yɛ seconding yɛade bɛtɛ wie na speaker say wɔn de ɔma ruling you didn't say it's purely biased.
Afe yɛmfiri mmarahyɛ badwam na yɛnhwɛ COVID-19 nso ho nsɛm kakra ne nhyehyɛ yɛ mpanimfoɔ de egu akwan mu na Dr. Sebastian Eugene Arthur ɛyɛ obi a wɔnimdeɛ paa sɛ ɛba no nsanyadeɛ ne emu asuadeɛ ɔpanin wɔbusa sanyɛn bia ɛnyinasoɔ bɛnti ɛna aban wɔde nhyɛ ato so sɛ wobɛpie mu ɛwɔ kotoka awiemhyɛ gyinabea obiara no ɛyɛ ɔnhyɛ so ɛwɔ sɛ COVID-19 panenu uwo bi opani no sa ka to sɛ enye mpane no na abɛwɔ no ɛno ɛna bɛboa ama no ɛtu COVID-19 yadewa no ase na sɛ ɛbɛboa ama manfoɔ ɛmfa emewura ɔman Ghana mu yɛntwe ho na yɛnti ama ne bɔ ne nto aso.
In Ghana, for instance, when we were kids, we all took some form of vaccination, so we have to use what we have, the information we have, to convince people to get vaccinated than forcing them to do it. We already have a lot of conspiracies, that we are fighting against. So making these things mandatory can push that conspiracy agenda. If you are taking the Johnson & Johnson, you need one shot, and only after 2 weeks that you become fully vaccinated. And then if you are taking the others, you have the first shots and the second shot, which is about 3 weeks apart. And then 2 weeks after the second shot, you become fully vaccinated. And even with the Omicron, you need a third or a booster. You are talking about people coming into the country, you give them the first shot. When are you going to give them the second shot? It doesn't make any sense. So when you vaccinate someone who is coming into Ghana for 1 week, you vaccinate them the first time. When or why? How are you going to catch them to vaccinate them on the second one? What is the science behind mandating vaccination at the airport? What are you trying to achieve? Are you trying to prevent them from getting sick whilst they come to the country, or prevent them from bringing the virus into the country? If they have the virus and you believe that the testing at the airport is right, which I believe it is, why do you have to vaccinate them? If you are vaccinating them because you think they have the virus, that is so wrong, because it's not going to do anything. Once you have the infection already in you, actively, vaccine is not going to do anything. Okay, so what you have to instead do is that you have people in the country vaccinated against those who will come into the country, then you can prevent your people in the country. That is what we have to focus on with the limited amount of vaccines we have. But with this directive, I don't know the science that is informing it, and I'm against it strongly.
Dr. Sebastian Eugene Arthur, and your cotier and Kasae, our Potocasemono, Nadia Wakainan, Titney Tiawa, and I said, won't Nina saw, and I said, a body moon shaby or my Yafa Huntia, one more ASI says, and Nipanum, say I really be shen who crown or Diabe Hasia, one a pania. Enkosiaga sanse idea e din kan e won ho na afei o wane ba ko na de to so mprenu no be hu nipa no wahefa e no asanso akwa akọwo we ene nsem bia wode etu dwa potoka semu na ye ka COVID-19 e ho ensem no na communications officer e de ma National Democratic Congress NDC Same Jamfi won so akasa se wone Ghana Health Service e de besi ani pa Supreme Court e hono enya adea e begro so esan se wo mo ede enhye ato akwantufoɔ so se ubepie mu ewo kotoka wiemhye gina bia ewo se wo mpane ewo se wo mo yesa wo mu tiesi amanfoɔ efa ahodie so.
I have said in my personal capacity as a lawyer and not as a member or the national communications officer for my party, because my party is here to take a position on this matter, but I've said that the forced or compulsory vaccination policy that government has announced is reprehensible and an affront to the 1992 Constitution. It is not supported by the laws of this country, and it is not supported by the science. Because if you look at the fundamental human rights and freedom enshrined under Chapter 5 of our Constitution, specifically Article 21, Clause 4D and C, no citizen of Ghana can be denied entry into Ghana on any grounds. On any grounds. You cannot. You cannot do that. If the person is a citizen. For non-citizens, they can be denied access when it comes to the imposition of restrictions on fundamental human rights. Okay. Now, even for the provision which allows for imposition on freedom of movement, you know, within Ghana, not entry into Ghana, for all citizens within Ghana, the Constitution says those restrictions must be reasonable. And like I've explained on your sister station, you know, this compulsory vaccination policy is not reasonable because, number one, the vaccines have not been approved by our FDA. They have been given what is called emergency use authorization. Emergency use authorization is not the same as FDA approval. In fact, our laws don't even support emergency use authorization. And in their own emergency use authorization guidelines, they have said that they have not approved it, they have not cleared it, they've not certified it, because they don't have sufficient data to do so. And they've also said that people should be given the right to either accept it or reject it. So why are we then being forced to take this? Even if you look at the Public Health Act, which talks about public vaccinations and all that, there are exceptions. And
the ora samejan finsune ene ekoteya opoto ne nsam ewo broni kasa mu na o hyase no wosi sudia se wo kasa amane ho se lawyer ni nemum yesi wo gire makasa ede ama NDC amanyoku no yantoa ensam ne so enkopie mu a na eye maame ya wono so ejina mu kasa ede ma UNICEF dwumekuo no Madam Ofebia Bedu wono so ede atodwa se ye ka COVID-19 ho nsami efiri bre ba yi na ayem se ye etwa mofra no agent panifo so nhwe na wo hyehye mu no wo ma nani enku mofra ho
na ene free bra covid ne ba ye no wonu anya akwanya anko sukuu mpo na campus wonu mapie ene wo monamfonom akodi agro maame Ofebia echiemu a efiri bra covid-19 e ba ye no enkoda bebre na ena omho aka adwamu nanso empanyimfo mfa nhyehyɛ bia emfa ngu ho ema sa nkoda yi eno ne ho akohia se e wo sa awofo nom emu wonu mani bre pa na wo mo ehye enkoda ne yi
wo mo se covid no empanyimfo pa na esane ho na nanse plus covid no so esasa na ni nti enkola bi wo ho mo so mo nya bi so no omo dodo ne no so na ye kasa emu no eye me se ye gyan kola wo kakra bi se COVID no eye panyin a aya akala you say akala no na ni da so ne panyin ti se panyin no kwa adwuma na se yi na bia na se e ka se na adwuma san e bi se COVID nti a obafi aduane be na akala no bedi ya so ya toto school no bi se ye pese nyina ye boa ye ho ano se de be ya yare no entre enso akala nko school a ya na ha adwen kakra bi se efie bi wo mu a akala no ko school a eno okora no bi se bia ne fie ho no obi wo ho a autonomo nan de bia obi wo ho so a akora no obebo no onye ahwekọ obebo no nti onko ku school a ena onya no ho otumi protect no ho kakra nanso said ya hyehye ye nti ni akora bebre ntumi anko school na omo wo fie no so nti no obi wo ho a eno nti ofa ho nyinsen school ye ebi a ntumi nsan ko bi said ya to no nti ntumi nsan ko bi akula bi so ho a school no kokwa ana onya aduane ba akodi atubo obeyeden
ne krakra mu no ena maame Ofebia ede etudwa se ehu behia pa se abatan a ehye nkoda Ghana fo nyina tichiu ene akyerkyerefo nso obia betu anamo akwo panie ni bi esan se ebra wonum ewo panie no na kwan bi so ebo nkoda no nso ehu ban
nsi ekom kan ne hye na nya panie no a ebetumi ya obia tumi awo bia be kasa bia aso ni paso aso mpanyifo aso ama enkola nso benye bi ti me ebi tumi aye dia pra kola no se ye bebo ye panie no e se opanyi a wabo panie a on yare no obetumi akwa adwuma otumi kwa adwuma o de ska bebe fie akla no bedidi obetumi akla no teacher ni bo panie a obo akla no ho ban onya akla na abo panie na so teacher ni na wabo panie ni obetumi akwa adwuma okọ school akla no beba akla na ye betu no monan no obebe school inti no ye mpanyifo na ya sede si ye behwe se yankasa no ye bebo ye ho ban enye ye mamponti a sede ye be ya ekro ni nyina no ye bebo ye ho ban
Trade Union Congress TUC ediato aban edim se wonhwene manimu ya wane emrahye bedwam enya enkitahodie na afi electronic transaction levy no womu enyi emfiri ho eyesa ebema Ghana for ehu achromo pa eye Deputy Secretary General Emma Ekoi and Joshua answer.
A budget that has possibly divided our lawmakers. A budget that is threatening to divide the whole country into partisan. A budget that, if care is not taken, will bring this country to its feet. It's something that we must all be very cautious when we are making statement or when we are making any statement on it. That is why you can see from the comments the TEC made that we are not taking position, even though our members want us to make a position. But the basis for which we should make that position is something that we are thinking of. In this country, the country has been polarized by two parties, NDC and MPP. Whatever position you take, you're either an MPP or you're either an NDC. So, brothers and sisters, we came out carefully and strategically to call for further discussions, deliberations, and dialogue on this very issue, which is currently going on. And I have no doubt that after the deliberations, after the consultations, something positive will definitely come out of that, so that workers of this country will be relieved of our additional burdens.
Yencha yahu sima yeba jedi kasiye twaso.
Brunye kesi wedie ebi madao share Onua TV ne Association of Ghana Industries na kabum the Brunye kesi ebro mechre eja kakraka data ubenya niema bia uhia brunye imu kwase enuane entade empaboa bagi chese brunye niema bia busua ne behia eja no so bae trekeke Onua brunye kesi sha se wukwada 15 December akosi kwasiada 19 December wo Kwame Nkrumah Water Garden Circle Eben Dubai Overpass wa anopa 8 AM kosi anadwo 8 PM de biada se wo ye jadini na se wo beton ade brunye mwenye sika pia bra Onua brunye kesi yase Fresesia 0558 689 701 and 0241 819 541 na se won so pebabi faako atoto brunye niema papa fofofo a fa woni kire Onua brunye kesi yase ye besa agi woni wabusua no ani ankasa o your face painting, fashion night, and a Saturday night bonfire. Onua brunye kesi more than Black Friday.
Sponsors, Katsuaba Wine.
Mesa mama nyina kwa bana fe yemfie ni nhemu ewo ahafo mantam no emu akuafo ewo hono mo esre aban se wonhwe na ni manimu ya wonka bi ema omo sansa manfo ebunua ewo ho pa na se ne ebu no anase nua wotai etwa wo hono ya de a esei wo mu kwayo ewo ho wo sre aban wo sre forestry commission afi na nanom panifo ene won ma eke bi ewo me se wonhwe na wonsi anokwan ni manimu ya
ahafo mantam no eye mantam bi a koko eso doso wumpaye na eso Ghana sikasem asene nanso ochiremu a anhweyi a sese sene a koko nyini na eso ewo mantam no mu no ade a eso bete kura amanaka Ghana sikasem enam sene nipa bi efa kuntinase etwa enua ewo akwaya a etwa mantam no ho ahia no emu ochiremu a sa adwumadie yi ama koko ni nyini ene neso ekofom paye asempanyimfo amfa wonan ensi fom ententemo a ebetumi abeha oman ne sikasem aha koko neso ene ni dua ewo oman Ghana mu opani kwankyerefo a oda esunafo North Municipal Cooperative Cocoa Marketing Union ano eye Owura Patrick Owusu ene Onua TV ebonkomo wa bra eye Cooperative Cocoa Marketing Union no edi wonfie edu
se oman Ghana ya nsole waka ni antimi ansi enua twitwa
basa no kwan a emwa ye ewo mu se eye adwuma a ebi mu ye a no nso na ebi mu nye ona no aduane de nanso ni nyina mu no koko ena ye oman fapem so oman fapem ni koko na enunti ebeboa ma oman yatimi agina brane ne yatimi akoye nim dia necessary yatimi hwe si ebehwe se nu adwuma no ye betimi de kyese papa agu ho se de ebeye na koko no nso betimi agina na so na aboa ma oman Ghana enkanko atimi akoso
Osan editudwa se ebeya akuafo emfa abefo kwan a ema koko timi esodoso na afi enkwada nketo a yede won edo koko ewo miamia hodo no yenyi emfa emfiri ho
ade a mesre me nua makuafo nyina ne se emmofra ye momasua no yehwe ne yi nneema bi te se Charlie ba yaka ho asem na no ye besre se akuafo ye ntwe ho mfi saa nneema we nyina ho se de ebeye na beboa ama oman Ghana edimpa ya ji wo koko adwuma no bekoso atena ho ama wiase nyina hu se wo ba oman yi mu akoko de ye gina brane ne nkwala momasua ene nkwada mpunti nso de ye ntoto na se
Jedi Kaseɛ esi Daniel Nana Kwame Yeboa aye krado yentwe husiman na afi won fa yemura agopamaso
Well, I'm saying, but that's a brasso. I good say, pay second you feel live on your TV with there. So, media Daniel, Nana Kwame Yeboa from Dani, always with a drink. What I shall say, and fish story, a PFE, a Simon, a Montisuku Pimo, another year, and the drivers, a course strike, and I just say, Abua, I mean, you're the best commentator in the world, Baba, why your friend Alice. I said, do a bomb the other, a boy, Juman, drivers, a call, strike, and almost some boss opus, about could now, a commentary case, a part. Nathaniel Levin, a producer, and the Dunia morning show, and he shows na wo nia TV so obana kopie mu Simon a ode abawa ni nchemu eba kase bi say baby say no na baby ye ana no twara etuate a drivers for amwa Ghana etie wo be pie wa Simon main station a drivers ni amwa jese na o meye dwuma ene sound to mo de ball back gese e share so ha say then mo ana video bi ba bonte say sama bibi e gina che oma football commentary by Monday na me kwa Accra me ampo na me refi me hu so me demonstration no ti me bebedure na ka bia anya adwuma nti na omo bobo nti me jana me say ana se board de omo bo a obi ama commentary de abo na enye de ti me minim say like oh ma me ma commentary ti me yes e bia me di agro keke na me de ma commentary
Alice ayo obi oto an kodoko de e wa Shaman Lorry station and dey twa talk crowd no crowd tea football commentary na so share football I wamra Black Stars and Uruguay de pim so 2010 World Cup to South Africa.
Last time I heard about 2010 food 90 minutes 2010 that's you call Brazil. Black Stars call Brazil. Then 2014 the match South Africa I think so South Africa. There are some way down say fanity. Apart from maintenance football match on current 10 minutes that. Omu year by maintenance won give 10 minutes make change station this year. But me play football.
Asamoah Gyan has the opportunity to send Ghana into the semi-finals of the World Cup. And he hits the bar! Unbelievable.
Bidi Eden Nathaniel Obi the legendo. Megasafri Ashaman Lorry Station Onua Sports. A good story by our standard. Nathaniel Obi ever asked me sure so channel pa Onua match so we be hu the extensive investing na any what me aye boy adwuma we e best 5 minutes bad news tin yama be 2 minutes so channel pa share team no Onua match so na mo fa ne aka nyina entumi enso bade yenkopie mu e wo the Nations Wembley Accra Sports Stadium channel so say nche bia ele mpeni for the crowd atentin beto odwa say ene Accra Sports Stadium no yentumi enkoso nsi akan e wo say no ebo ama Ghana Premier League side Glorious Accra to folk Accra Great Olympics and Lagos State me pe bia on be
stadium akan ene ukopiem wa Cross Sports Stadium a ene stadium an penifo share say on ba be renovate no enya semketo a stadium no hye nso say ene omo mount ene pillars a omo de eba be ye yi na che say omo atesem ne say omo be so omo de Christmas party kese pa e park ne so a yes a bank bi na behind na omo behind ye no yes omo de be bo show kese the stadium an penifo de two just say oh na nka omo de stadium no omo mo na hwese asiesie no ene atesem ne say penifo e de be bo show Christmas Ibrahim. But the entire copy mo UEFA Champions League sharing so say any day and a draw no etimi toja draw no di kan toja no na empenifo say draw no father Gambi ba mutimi ye no foforo na ye no foforo no say and parents need to tie RB Leipzig and Bayern Munich na the be boy ni Sporting CP ebetena fie and a Manchester City and on the first game Benfica and so ebetena fie and a Ajax Chelsea omutimi tena fie ebo adwuma omo yire sa Leo and omutimi nya all the way from France some French champions Atletico Madrid ebetena fie Red Devils Manchester United now with their money. Villarreal winners of Europa League ebetina feel that Juventus now with their money. Inter Milan and so Liverpool the 6-time champions in the UEFA Champions League now with their money. Paris Saint-Germain, Sergio Ramos or bouncing back Kuremo Benabao, Paris Saint-Germain and Real Madrid and a day everybody honum. Yemeda se so nya abre na yede agudi mu sempa so mu ni Kaseɛbɔ so medie Daniel na kwame ebo channel pa se onia ma chichim on be teras no de agudi mu sempa pa atumi ede aso me adwok no du ede okwa ma ne
Asadaka sie enko ema Daniel na kwame yebo afa yemfe ani nkyeremu ewo amanonia na arehosem ene atorenchemu a eno so akoso Kentucky manu emu okowi ase enipa adiosia enan womo ahwe won kwa ama nipa pinu a ena sabre won hu womo ehya kwan adro mpanimfo a wo man mu eba amane no womo hye se nipa beye wo ha ene enum de womo enhu wo mehya kwan nti wontimi nkase wo mawu anase womo ehiase ejai abusia jeje mu ya wote ho no de omo ehwea ne se obeti bibi afa wandofo eho no hu kwan ono so faso na watimi esiesie won ho ede afa efi memenda anopa asem no esiye no panimfo agusu a ato won ho agumontene so yenkanka US abochima no so womo rescue teams ade a womo ehwehwe mu a mu nyina ato won ho agum akosa akro ne so ehwehwe mu se da bi obehu ba bi a amanfo bi ahyehyɛ no watimi aboa aye wonomo emwa we sei ene arahosem a efri saabia honomo eba Onua Kaseɛbɔ na hase na bema kwan na medini nyina asomo esias da kese enko ema yem producer director camera switcher light obibia sound ya oboa ma Kaseɛ ne timi eye Kaseɛ no asida kese enko ema munya wo so awje bre na hwe na live on TV na se Facebook nyina no so asida kese enko ema munya medini ajewa kunedi yadomebio omunyina mu ene hwa ade
Yamo official pa koswa hwe Onua TV.
Ghana adesema mamma